Hello everyone, here we are again. Today we will start step 2. Say it loud and clear. Okay, so please open your books on page 104 and let's go. Okay, now language outcomes. Language outcomes. By the end of this sequence, of course, you are going or you will be able to make the difference or to know the silent letters and stress in compound words. If you remember, we have already studied stress in the class, so this is a kind of revision, just a kind of revision, okay? Then, if listen to your teacher and underline the stress syllable in the compound words written in bold in the folk tale below. Okay, we have here a folk tale. A folk tale. Okay? We have a folk tale. So, we are going to read it, to read the folk tale. Then, mark the stress patterns in compound words. Okay? The compound words are written in bold type. So we are going to mark the stress. That's all. Okay. We start reading the folk tale. Once upon a time, there was a little red-haired and blue-eyed girl who was loved by all who knew her. She was called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother told her to take some sweet-smelling cakes to her grandmother, who was living in the woods, but not to go in to buy pets. That was dangerous. When Little Riding Hood reached the woods, she met a funny-looking and bad-smelling wolf, naturally. Little Red Riding Hood didn't know what a wicked animal the wolf was. She thought that it was kind-hearted, so she listened to it when it told her to pick up some bluebells and daffodils for her grandmother. While Little Red Riding Hood was picking flowers, the wolf entered her grandmother's house and ate her up. Then he put on her grandmother's night gown and nightcap and went into the bedroom. When Little Red Riding Hood got to her grandmother's house, she found the door wide open. Obviously, something was wrong. Even her grandmother was old looking. Okay, now as you see, we have here compound words: red-haired, blue-eyed, sweet-smelling, grandmother, bypass. Funny also is a compound adjective. Bad-smelling, bluebells, kind-hearted, nightgown, nightcap. Bedroom, wide open, old looking. All these words are compound. Compound means composed of two parts or two words. Okay? Compound words means that we have words with two words or two parts or composed with two parts. Okay? So, as you see here, we have two words, but in one word, means one meaning. Okay? So, these compound words are underlined and written in bold type. So, you are going to mark the stress syllable in these compound words. Okay? Yes. Try to do it. Yes. The stress here. Where did we put the stress in this first word or this first compound word? Red-haired, red-haired, blue-eyed. Okay, before we start, I'm going to list you some rules for stress compound words. Okay, the rule for stress in compound words is as follows. We have different kinds of words and adjectives, and in each word or adjectives we have different rule. So let's start with the first one. First one, if the compound word is a noun, the stress goes on the first part. If the compound word is a noun, the stress goes on the first part. Yes, it's clear. It's so clear. So, example, greenhouse, blackbird. So, if the compound word is a noun, if I have a noun which is compound, that is composed of two parts, so the stress always falls on the first part, means the first part. Here, red-haired, 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 it's an, yes, try with me, try. It's a noun or an adjective? It's an adjective, of course. Red-haired, blue-eyed, also it's an adjective. Sweet-smelling, grandmother is a noun. Funny is an adjective. Bad-smelling, adjective. Bluebells, adjective. Yes, kind-hearted, adjective. Okay? I have here a lot of adjectives. Odd-looking, adjective. Wide open, an adjective. Bedroom here, bedroom is a noun, bedroom here. Nightcap, it's a noun. Nightgown, it's a noun. Okay, so in the first, before, carry on. We carry on the rules first. Okay. If the compound is an adjective, the stress goes on the second part. Example, old-fashioned, sweet-tongued. So, when I have compound words which are adjectives, the stress always falls on the second part. Contrary to the first rule that says when I have a compound word which is a noun, always the stress goes on the first part. Okay, here I have rule 2. If the compound is an adjective, the stress goes on the second part. Okay. If the compound is a verb, the stress goes on the second part. So, I can understand here that it is the same rule with when I have an adjective. So, I can summarize it in one rule. If the compound word is a verb or an adjective, the stress goes on the second part. Example: understand, overlook. Okay? However, c'est par contre. However, in connected speech, compound words are subject to stress shift when a stressed syllable follows closely. I repeat. However, par contre, in connected speech, compound words are subject to stress shifts when a stressed syllable follows closely. Okay? So, now we try to answer this folk tale. Here, red-haired. Red-haired is an adjective. So, the stress falls on the second part. So here, it falls here. The stress falls in the second part. Blue-eyed. Here again I have an adjective. Blue-eyed. It falls here. Eyed. Girl who was then sweet smelling. Sweet smelling. Sweet smelling is an adjective, so the stress goes in smelling. Okay. Grandmother. Grandmother is a noun, so the stress falls on the first syllable. On the first word, sorry. So, grandmother, we have finished with this. Bee pads. Bee pads. Bee pads is a noun. Is a noun, so the stress falls on the first part. Okay, when Little Red Riding Hood reached the woods, she met a Fanny. Fanny is an adjective. Fanny, fun, c'est le nom, noun. Fanny is an adjective. It's an adjective, so the stress falls. Fanny looking, Fanny looking. So it is an adjective, so it falls on the second part, in the second part of the word. And bad smelling, it's also an adjective. It falls here in smelling. Wolf, naturally, Little Red Riding Hood didn't know what a wicked animal the wolf was. She thought that it was kind-hearted. Kind-hearted. Kind-hearted is also an adjective, so the stress falls here too. So she listened to it when it told her to pick up some bluebells. Bluebells. Some bluebells. Bluebells, an adjective. Yes, good. Bluebells, so it falls here, the stress again. For her grandmother, while Little Red Riding Hood was picking flowers, the wolf entered her grandmother's house and ate her up. Then he put on her grandmother's nightgown and nightcap. Nightgown, nightcap. These two words are compound and are nouns, so the stress falls on the first word. Okay, and went into the bedroom. Bedroom is also a noun, of course, so the stress falls here in the first word. Okay, bedroom. When Little Red Riding Hood got to her grandmother's house, she found the door wide open. Wide open is an adjective. Yes, good. Wide open is an adjective, so the stress falls on the I didn't hear. On the second, of course. On the second word. Good. So in open. Then, obviously, something was wrong. Even her grandmother was old looking. Old looking is also an adjective, so the stress falls on the second word. Okay, good. Now, after reading the text, of course, after reading the text and marking the stress pattern in compound words, now we are going to read the folk tale above, paying attention to intonation and stress. Then discuss how compound adjectives are formed in English. Okay. Before discussing the intonation, of course, I'm going to give you the rule of intonation and stress in this exercise. Okay. It has to be observed that there are some exceptions to the rules. For example, compound words are subject to stress shift when a stressed syllable follows closely. It is the case of red-haired and blue-eyed. In red-haired and blue-eyed girl, please explain the stress shift in compound words before moving on to the next activity. Okay, good. Now, we are going to mark the intonation here. Intonation. Oh, listen to me, of course. Listen to me and mark the intonation with an arrow at the end of the first 6 lines of the text below. Then, act out the punch lines. Listen to me, dear students. Oh, grandmother, she said. What big ears! What big ears you have! Listen to me, good. Then try to mark the intonation alone before I give you the key. Okay, try to listen to me carefully. Oh, grandmother, she said, what big ears you have! The better to hear you with, my dear, said the wolf. Grandmother, what big eyes you have! The better to see you with. Grandmother, what big teeth you have! The better to eat you with. And the wolf jumped out of bed and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood. A huntsman saved Little Red Riding Hood and grandmother by cutting out the wolf's stomach. They both lived happily ever after. Okay, now let's see the answer. Oh, it's the intonation. The intonation here goes up. Okay? The intonation here goes up. Oh, grandmother. Down. It goes down. Grandmother. Then, what big ears you have. Up. Up. It goes up. Then, the better to hear you with, my dear, said the wolf. It goes down. Then, grandmother, what big eyes you have, goes up. Then, the better to see you with, goes down. Then, grandmother, what big teeth you have? It goes up. Then the answer, the better to eat you with, goes up. Then, and the wolf jumped out of bed, up, and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood. Down. A huntsman saved Little Red Riding Hood. Down, and then grandmother by cutting out the wolf's stomach. It goes down. They both met. They both lived happily ever after. It goes down. Okay? These are the answers. Now, number 4, activity 4. We did. Before I forget, please, let me say that the rules of intonation we have already done in the class. So, revise your lesson, please, and have a look on the rules. And leave me comments, please. Okay? To make sure you are with me and follow me revising your lessons at home, please take a look. Okay? Okay, number 4. Form compound adjectives by using the words below. Underline the stressed word in each of the compound adjectives you will form. Okay. Big-eyed, left-handed, big-headed, good-mannered, left-handed, blue-eyed, dark-skinned, old-fashioned, hard-working, black-haired, and black-haired and fast-moving. These are our compound words. It's too easy, okay? You know that. It's too easy. So, please, dear students, please revise your lessons at home. And please leave me comments to make sure you see my videos. Okay? I'm waiting for your comments and your answers. Okay? Take care and goodbye. صحة فطوركم. Next time, inshallah.